So, to discuss social reforms in Saudi Arabia, let's meet our panel. From Jeddah, Maha Akeel is a journalist and author. Also from Jeddah, Reem Daffa is the Vice President and Executive Director of the Saudi Arabian Public Relation Affairs Committee. And from Indianapolis, Rafia Zakaria is also a journalist and author. Welcome to all three of you. Reem, this man is 32 years old. He's running Saudi Arabia. Who wouldn't want to be in his position at his age? But who is he, the man that they call MBS?
Well, I believe the question is not just who is he or everyone wants to be in his shoes, because to be honest, he made everyone, every Saudi citizen, to be in his shoes. That's what he did. He gave personal advocacy to everyone, every Saudi citizen, and he gave a sense of purpose to every Saudi citizen to move forward, to be part of the Vision 2030. And that's not just reforming, to be honest. It's building from the ground up. It's building a platform, a solid platform for change.
Could you just explain to us the structure in Saudi Arabia briefly? Because his father is the king, isn't he? But this man, MBS, is like the CEO. Is that the best way to look at it?
Well, I don't know about a CEO, because he is being advised by multiple people. He listens to wise people. He is open to advice from other regions, to allies, whether from the Middle East, the US, and the Asian region. He, an orchestrator, to be exact, more than a CEO.
Maha, he was appointed last year, and almost at the same time there were arrests among members of the royal family and also the business community. What do you make of that? Do you see that as some kind of consolidation of corralling together of power?
Hi, John. Actually, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman came in with a new vision and a new approach to the country. He's looking forward to improving the economic and social structure and reforming the country from the inside, and as well with international relations. So there had to be, of course, some internal reforms, some restructuring, and that is normal. So I think what the Crown Prince came in is with a real a reform that has jump-started the country forward when at a time when it was almost stalled for 30 years, hindered by a lot of social and cultural restraints, economic stagnation, social stagnation, cultural stagnation. So basically, I think he took some very bold decisions and some very strong reforms that moved the country years ahead in just a short period of time.
Well, Saudi Arabia, of course, adheres to a strict form of Islam known as Wahhabism. And as we've seen in the past, we've had not only the driving ban, but also the guardianship rule, where women must ask a member of the family or a close friend to apply for a passport or indeed for permission to get married. And of course, there's been gender separation as well. But the Crown Prince wants to end a lot of that and has gone a long way to ending some of it already. Let's hear about his vision for the next 30 years or so from something that he said within recent history. Here's a quote from him. Listen.
70% of Saudi people are younger than 30 years old. And honestly, we will not waste another 30 years of our life before dealing with extremist ideas. We will not spend the next 30 years of our lives dealing with destructive ideas. We will destroy them today and immediately.
Destructive ideas will destroy them today immediately. Rafia, that's quite powerful stuff, isn't it? What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I think, well, first of all, I'm very glad to be on a panel with my two Saudi sisters and to hear their perspectives. And I want to congratulate them on this incredible new era, hopefully, that is beginning in Saudi Arabia. I think that the promise that, or the, the rhetoric that Prince Mohammed bin Salman uses is, it's very effective and it's very charming and it's very appealing. Of course, the challenge for him is, as people mentioned, not just, even as a crown prince, to enact laws or reforms that are empowering to women. He is facing a clerical establishment that has been largely opposed to these reforms in Saudi Arabia, that even, as far as the driving ban specifically is concerned, they're very, very powerful sheikhs who have issued fatwas that have said this is evil, it's going to expose women to evil, it's going to affect them physiologically, and so on and so forth. So he's facing that on one side. And on the other side, of course, there is the imminent threat or the constant, rather, perpetual threat of Islamic extremism. So his challenge, of course, is to carve a path in the middle of both of those two challenges. And the reforms that he is promising and hopefully will deliver on, as he is with the end of this driving ban, are likely to have reverberating effects all over the Muslim world. I'm from Pakistan, and there are millions in Pakistan who look to Saudi Arabia, like others do in the Muslim world, for moral leadership. And so when these reforms take place and Saudi women become more visible, it does give impetus to Muslim feminists around the rest of the Muslim world to also take initiative and to also want to be more visible, want to participate in the public space and contribute to their country and be a part of the social and the political fabric. So, yes, this is undoubtedly very, very important, for most of the Muslim world.
We should celebrate what's going to happen on Sunday. Reem, what does it mean? How important is it for women within the country itself? What will be happening on Sunday?
Well, I believe this is a soft launch. It is, yes, a revelation to the rest of the world. We are the last country in the world to have women drive, but it's a slow pace. It's moving forward, and it's a fruit of multiple structures that came together and made this happen, and the inclusion of half of the society, which is women. We're going to see multiple women working together and helping this to be established in the future. We have women servicing in civil in labor and social development, and in the Interior Ministry as well. So it's inclusion, all in all.
And Maha, you're also in Saudi Arabia. What do you think is going to happen when this driving ban is lifted on Sunday? What will be the practical difference that will be felt by women in the country?
Well, first of all, this is a very significant and symbolic empowerment for women. Having the right to drive, and as Reem mentioned, being the only and last country in the world that didn't allow women to drive, this is to happen on Sunday is very significant. It's empowering for women. It gives them the confidence, the independence, and the freedom to move, to go where they need to go, to whether to work or to school or to go shopping or meet their friends. They don't have to wait for someone to drive them wherever they need to go. So it will really have a big impact and a big change in their life. And we feel that this is the beginning, and we expect some more changes that will give women more independence and more equal rights as citizens. Because as Crown Prince Mohammed himself has said, that women have been denied their rights according to Islam for the past 3 years because of some of the conservative interpretations or approaches towards women. So now I think there is a whole re-evaluation and looking at all the laws and procedures in government offices that have previously stood in the way of women joining the workforce more, as and as reaching higher positions in leadership positions in different sectors. And we shouldn't forget that with the high rate of education now among women, there's more women now graduating from universities, and especially with higher degrees. Some of them are coming from abroad who have been sent on scholarships to the US and many other countries, are coming back and looking for opportunities. And they feel that they have the right to compete for the same jobs as men as long as they have the same qualifications. So this is the beginning for a big change and a big reform for women in Saudi Arabia.
Reem, can I just ask you to be very brief with this answer? How quickly do you expect these other reforms to come? I mean, next year, 10 years? What do you think?
MBS has been appointed last year, and we've seen these changes throughout the year, and it's only been 1 year anniversary for him being crown prince. I do believe that it's going to be faster than anyone, and the change is coming and the reform is coming faster because everyone is being part of it. All of these Saudi citizens are being part of the vision, they're being part of the reform, they want to be part of the change.